All right, let's take you now to Kano State. You know, the storm over the defection of Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf had been gathering. The governor's godfather, Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, called the storm an act of betrayal. On January 23, 2026, the governor and his team took the plunge. Governor Abba Yusuf cites deep internal crisis within the NNPP and a better governance opportunities for his taking the dive. His deputy, Aminu Guaruzo, has elected to stick to the godfather. We can only second guess what happens next, Wale.
I think a lot of backroom negotiations must have taken place before this decision was taken.
Did you see it coming?
I think in the past few months.
Yeah.
Initially, I never knew this would happen. But in the past few months, I could see the signposts clearly that Abba Yusuf, would leave the NNPP. And I think that...
Sorry, mine was when he eventually met with Mr.
With the president. Yes, that was the, the cap, the apex of the whole build-up. But I think that Kano State has always been of strategic importance to any good thinker.
Yeah.
Because when you are talking about votes, Kano has a population of about 15.8 million people.
Yeah.
And after
like
Lagos, the next state is Kano, with about 5 million registered voters. Lagos has about 7 million registered voters. After Kano, you are talking about Kaduna, and they are twin states.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you are talking about winning any election at the federal level, I think a good thinker will try as much as possible to ensure that Kano and Lagos, yes, So I think this is a big plus for the NNPP and for the APC, and a huge minus for the opposition party. In Kano, there are three major pillars of politics in that state in contemporary times.
Okay.
We have Kwankwaso with his rural appeal. Yes. Then you also have Yusuf, Abba Yusuf, with his authority because he's sitting governor. And then you have Ganduje, who is also, an experienced person, former APC chairman. So those are the three most outstanding figures. So as we speak now, I think Kwankwaso has been isolated. So there's no doubt that in spite of his influence in that region, that influence has been,
has waned.
It has waned. It has been reduced, compared with what it used to be in the past years. And if it's not careful, lack of a political platform that is relevant to national politics, might wither away, the structures it has built over the years. And I think that after Amadou Bello, the next person that had a kind of commanding, overwhelming support in the north was Buhari. Okay. Then after Buhari's exit, there has not been any major factor. You can talk about Atiku and Kwankwaso, in the north, and then Ganduje and others. So I think anybody that emerges now, as an outstanding figure that has the potential to make impact in the north, may inherit Buhari's legacy. And if that person happens to be in APC, that's another advantage, because that was the party Buhari left behind. So I think that it's a victory for the APC, and it shows more of strategic thinking, ability to move fast and at the right time, ability to identify target audience. Who are the people that you need? Look at the entire, South-South. They are, engaging them and then be able to win them to your side. And I think that is what politics is all about. It's not just about, ensuring that politics is a do or die affair. We must win by all means. It means that you can win people to your side through negotiation, by offering what they need and also, exchange of ideas and change of, interest. So, and I think this is quite commendable, because what we have seen in the past is that the president will come and say, look, I'm going to win Delta State. I'm going to win Lagos State. by crook and by everything possible I'm going to do to win the election. But we are seeing a different strategy, a different style, which I think is working at a minimum cost. So I believe this has added a lot of advantage to the ruling party. However, in my own mind, it does not mean that we can say authoritatively that, the APC will win the next election. There are still a lot of variables. In fact, when I was doing my calculation, the last election in 2023, the whole number of votes, registered voters, about 25 million. Then the number of registered voters, about 93 million. So it means we still have about 68 million Nigerians that are registered but are not voting. Unfortunately, we do have a revolutionary oppositional movement that is interested in going from the plain to the fields, to the sea, to the seashores, to the mountains, to the plateau, to mobilize the masses and galvanize them. So that is absent. The opposition we have are just social media opposition. They are not in tune with the spirit of the masses. So as it is now, in the context of bourgeois politics, APC is in a better strategic position to win the next election.
Yeah, Asukwa, Senator Kwankwaso recently had been touted with this, the intention to take a dive to the APC, and he gave conditions. I cannot cross into the APC until these conditions are met. I do not want to be used and dumped.
So it's the same thing.
So his son, political son, Abba Yusuf, has taken the dive.
Yes, so maybe he miscalculated. Because if, for instance, if you are making conditions, you have to make conditions with some level of conditions. Let me use conditions or with level of conditions. Or so that when once they say, okay, we can't meet you this way. So come. When you come, we'll be able to meet the other way. So I think what he wanted was, he wanted everything at once. But it doesn't happen like that. So, but unfortunately for him, most of the people who are his allies actually left before him. A Senator Kano that was with him left.
Yeah.
He left. Even Jubril, Abu Munini Jubril, left. The governor now, was even sitting to even get the way he will be going. But he did not give that signal.
The deputy governor, the deputy to Abba Yusuf, has refused to take the dive.
He's always like that. He's always
because I remember in Bayelsa, the governor took the dive.
Exactly.
The deputy adopted a look-see attitude after he followed suit.
Exactly.
Do you see that happening here?
The thing is, at some point, everybody, because in Kano, I know that every political leader has their own supporters. So it is what you feel that your supporters are saying. If your supporters say, don't move, and you move, you're on your own. Okay? So, but right now, Kwankwaso has been left in the lounge, for him to begin to decide whether he wants to go to ADC or he wants to start another, or he wants to, because the party, the NNPP, has been having issues. So most times I used to think, if you have issues in your party, why can't you sit down and address your the problem? Because if you do not, and you say you want to go to another political party, are you sure you will not still face the same thing?
Asukwa, I follow your drift. Even Wale would recall that when the problem in the LP started like child's play.
Like child's play. We wanted the presidential candidate to sit down to address the problem.
Yeah.
But instead of addressing the problem, they were all looking for how they will win the 2027 election without solving the problem. And that's the same problem that even PDP had. Even when they brought ideas for them to have a caretaker committee, they refused. They said they want to go and do convention. Meanwhile, they had issues. The NNPP has been having problems. National problems from that top. They are supposed to have sat down to see, okay, what can we do to solve the problem so that the governor does not look for another party. But the governor has seen another, but I'm not sure, he feels that he wants to go to APC. He has not defected yet. Until he defects, that is when I will now say he has moved. But I know that his body and soul has left, and he has even resigned, and he wants to move to the APC. So until he does that. So, but the thing is, for me, before you change, you move further. Kwankwaso himself also has to look at himself. Why is it that when once it gets to a period, people will be leaving Kwankwaso, Rabiu Kwankwaso? Why? It means that there's something that is doing wrong that makes people leave him. So he has to also start looking at himself.
Yeah. Wale, how do you react to a situation where, if it happens like this, the opposition party would be quick to tell you the trouble in our parties
is caused by the ruling party.
Are caused by the ruling party.
Oh, you see, that is a very weak argument. Because it's like say, oh, because you are short, oh, I don't want that orange because it's not sweet. You know you are short, you cannot, your hand cannot reach the, you know. Being a political party, your responsibility is to ensure that your members don't decamp. Your responsibility is to ensure that you keep your members and that others don't come and pouch, you know, and, you know, feast on your political party. If your house is not in order,
oh yeah, obviously.
I mean, you know, political parties are like hawks. They look around to feast on where there is meat.
Yeah.
You know, so I believe that ADC is also struggling to bring in some APC people. And if the APC have not been careful in terms of managing internal division, internal crisis, APC will have lost so many people, you know, to the ADC. But the ability of the leadership, you know, to meet the demands and interests of dissenting voices is what is keeping the party going.
Exactly.
That's it. So if you don't have an internal mechanism that can sustain your party, of course, the party all over the world, the Republican Party would like to poach everybody in the Democrat Party. Labour Party would like to pick everybody in Conservative Party. That's the game. That's the game. So it's now left for you to ensure that, look, you know, you protect, you know, your people from being taken away. So you can't just sit down and then be crying and they are taking your, what is the strategy that you have to ensure that your members do not defect? How many times have you seen Atiku, when he was in PDP, meeting with PDP caucus in the National Assembly? Or you have seen Peter Obi meeting with Labour Party. I think he lost about 8 members now. Meeting with Labour Party, you see them coming out with a meeting and talking about, okay, this year, this is our strategy, this is our program, this is our plans. They don't have time. They like to be issuing statements on X, on Twitter, on Facebook. In terms of practical work, this going to the boardroom, sitting down and mapping out your strategy. This governor, you want to make sure that it does not look at PDP, look at the factions. If you have done enough, you will have ensured that even Wike did not leave that party. So it's part of their, you know, they are weak. They don't have, you know, and because it's, you know, they are driven by personal ambition. Everybody wants to be the president candidate.
Hence the talk about internal democracies amongst political parties.
Sure.
All right, so we'll take a breather now, go on a commercial break. We should be back shortly. Please stay with us. This is Journalist Hangout on Sunday.